Hey everyone, Jake here for American Trucks, and in this video we're taking a look at the Mark II Nova Series 2500 style LED projector headlights with the alpha black housings and clear lenses, fitting 2019 to 2024 Ram 1500s equipped with factory halogen headlights. For the Ram owner who's looking for updated good looks and a ton of extra lighting output, the Mark II Nova Series headlights we have here will be just the ticket. Featuring some clean, aggressive styling elements, seriously powerful lighting, and a few clever extras, these make for a great update to any truck. If the general style of these headlights look familiar, you're not mistaken. They are very reminiscent of the 5th gen Ram 2500's headlights, and that is done on purpose, hence the name. They're also similar to the original Nova Series 2500 style units we've had for some time now, but I think these are an improvement in both style and function. Since they are reminiscent of 2500 series headlights, these are a great way for those of you 1500 owners out there to get some of that beefier HD platform style on your truck, and you don't have to upgrade the entire truck to do it, so that's savings right out of the gate. Surrounding the main lighting elements, you're going to find these cool LED strips. These can be lit up amber or a diffused white, depending on what kind of look you're after. These will function as your daytime running lights and double as your turn signals. Those signals are also sequential, which in my book is always just cool. They also feature a startup sequence, so when you unlock your truck or go to start it up, those LEDs will do a short flashing sequence that, while it's not really anything functional, does add an extra touch to the whole setup, making these feel a bit more OEM plus. The actual lighting elements are worth noting too, of course, and in the center you're going to find those 4 ice cube style bi-LEDs which put out a ton of light. All 4 are going to function as both your high and low beams, and as they are projectors, they put out a clean, crisp white light with a wide beam pattern and a nice sharp cutoff. These are going to far outshine factory halogens especially, and they cast a lot more light a lot further down the road or trail than your factory setup. And with those alpha black housings inside and the clear lenses over top, they're going to give you that aggressive appearance without impacting the actual lighting output. Construction here is all pretty first rate as well. The outer housings are made from polypropylene with clear polycarbonate lenses over top. The lenses also have an anti-fog agent and another coating on the outside to keep them clear in all conditions and help prevent against fading and yellowing. Inside, these are going to feature the Osram Olsen black flat LED chips for superior light output and longevity. And since these are all LED, they'll have a really long lifespan. You don't have to worry about changing out bulbs. On the back, you're also going to find integrated air breathers to help prevent fogging and moisture from getting trapped inside. Plus, there are integrated adjusters, meaning that these are also DOT and SAE approved, making them fully street legal. Pricing is about the only detractor here, as these don't come cheap. This set is going to run you about $1,700, and that does put them toward the top end of the category. But as with most aftermarket parts, especially lights, you kind of get what you pay for here, and there's a lot of great stuff baked in on top of a great look, so if you've got the room in your budget, these are going to be an excellent choice. Installation gets a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. Now these are going to require you to do a bit of wiring for the daytime running light functions, but it's really just running power and ground. Otherwise, this is totally plug and play, and these will bolt right in place of your factory headlights. Everything you need comes included in the box too, including all the wiring, so if you feel comfortable doing a bit of wiring, this is definitely a job you can accomplish at home. And we're going to show you how to get it done right now, so with that, let's head on out to the shop.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, clip remover tool, Phillips head screwdriver, an extension, 10mm wrench, T20 torque socket, and 8 and 10mm sockets. What's up guys? Today we're installing a set of headlights on our Ram. First we're going to watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your factory headlights, and I'll meet you right back here for the install.
So for this install, you're going to need to pop your hood, remove your upper rad cover, the grille, and some of the surrounding trim. It's a pretty simple process. I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. So let's get started. So we're going to start by removing our upper rad cover. There's a bunch of plastic clips that need to be removed, so I'm going to use my plastic clip removal tool and pop the heads of them open. And then once I get those all removed, I can pull the panel off. Pull this panel right off. The next piece we need to remove is the headlight trim and grille trim here on the top of the vehicle. It's a combination of a pop clip and 10mm screws. So I'm going to use my clip tool once again and a 10mm socket to pull all of these out, and then I can just remove this piece from the vehicle.
Next, I'm going to use my 8mm socket to remove some of the screws here on the inner wheel well and pull the liner back to expose a little bit more hardware that's hiding behind the liner so I can get this panel off that surrounds the headlight. So now that I have the liner pulled back, I've exposed this 10mm bolt here inside the wheel well liner, and I'm going to use my 10mm on a ratchet and just pull that out. Now I'll just repeat this process on the other side. Next, I'm going to need to remove my grill. There are 3 10mm bolts at the bottom of either side of the grill, and there are 4 across the top. I'll just use my 10mm socket on my small impact gun, remove all of those screws, and pull the grill off. So now that I have my grill removed, I can go ahead and start unbolting and unhooking my headlights. I have a clip here at the top as well as a 10mm bolt, and then I have a 10mm bolt here on the side from the fender, and I'll just use my 10mm socket and my clip tool and pull those out, and then I can unhook my headlights. It's a little hard to see, but I'm just going to unplug my headlight connectors from the back. Just push down on the tabs to release them, and then you can pull the headlight out.
Now before we install our new set of headlights, we're going to have to transfer over this lower piece from our stock headlight over to our new one. We've got 5 T20 Torx screws holding that in, so grab yourself a T20 Torx socket and we'll pop all those out and transfer it over. So we'll start on the bottom here. We have 3 screws, and then we have 1 on each side that we'll get after. And we'll rotate it around and get this one on the side. And flip it around one more time, and we'll get the one over here. And then we can just lift this right off and put it onto our new one. And now we can drop this back onto our new one. We've got these 2 slots here that are going to go over these 2. Line it up and drop it on. And then come to the side, thread in your screw, and use that socket just to get my thread started. That same thing on the other side. And then we can grab our 3 screws for the bottom. These are all self-tappers, so we can just run these in. And I'll take that same socket and tighten down the 2 on the side. And then repeat that same process for your other headlight. Now, one last thing to note before we get these on the truck, you have the option of doing a white DRL or an amber DRL. And the way you're gonna change that is gonna be by popping off this cover down here. It's got 4 Phillips head screws, and there's a couple wires that we can swap around. So now take a Phillips head screwdriver and remove these 4 screws so we can pop this cover off. So now you can grab that bunch of wires inside the headlight housing. You're gonna have 2 connectors on green wires and the same thing over here. All you're gonna do is connect those connectors that are on the same wires. So bend them towards each other. And then click those together. And then you can tuck everything back in there. Slide the cover back on and reinstall all of your screws. Now we're ready to install our headlights. So we're just gonna take our big connector and plug that in. We're not gonna be using our side marker connector for these headlights. Just press it in until it clicks, and then you can slide that into place. So now we can mount up our headlight. We've got a longer bolt and a shorter bolt. The longer bolt's going up top, and the shorter is going in from the side. We have another longer bolt for this hole over here, but we're not going to install that until we get our grill back in. Now once you have those threaded in, you line up your headlight and then take a 10mm socket, tighten these down. And then do that same thing on the other side. Next we can line up and reinstall our grill, making sure to get these tabs over those headlight mounting tabs. Now we can reinstall those 4 bolts at the top of the grill. And then grab your 10mm socket and tighten these all down. Next we can line up our upper trim piece. Push that into place, and then grab all of your bolts and thread those in. Now grab that 10mm socket again and tighten all of these down. Next we can lay our radiator cover back on. We're going to hook this end underneath the fender there, and then we can reinstall all of our clips. Next we can reinstall our 3 lower grill bolts. You've got the 2 longer ones that are going to go on the 2 inner holes, and then the short one for the outer hole. And then grab your 10mm socket and tighten all these down. Do the same thing on the other side. Now we can line up the tabs on our lower trim piece and press that into place. So now we can go back inside our fender liner and reinstall the bolt that's going down right here. And then you want to thread this in as far as you can get it by hand. If you have a little rust in your threads, you can take a wire brush and clean that up. It'll make it a lot easier. Have this little slot right here where we can get a 10mm wrench in and tighten it down. So the tighter you can get it by hand, the less time it's left. Just get the wrench in there and tighten it the rest of the way. And then you can slide your fender liner back into place. And then thread your screws back into those clips. And then grab your 8mm socket and tighten those down. And then do the same thing on the other side. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Mark II Nova Series 2500 style LED projector headlights with alpha black housing and clear lens for your 2019 and newer Ram 1500 with factory halogen headlights. Thank you for watching, and for all things Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.